What's up? So, looks like there's a question on core stuff. So like the main thing to bear in mind, especially with the low back, is it's more like, functionally, it's more like a crowbar. So it's designed to transmit force from the ground to the upper body and back, right? Think about when you run, you go here, right? Why does this arm come up? To keep you from spinning out of control. Well, if your spine is all bendy when you're running, you snap in half, right? So think of this stuff as it's designed, in the sense that it's designed to keep things from moving, not necessarily produce movement. That said, you should be able to produce some movement, but you don't train that way. Just because you can do it doesn't mean you should train it. Car accidents happen. That doesn't mean we practice them, right? So think of training the core in the sense of anti. So anti-extension, anti-flexion, anti-lateral flexion, and anti-rotation. We're trying to prevent these things. So in those categories, obviously there's the front plank, and let's start with a hard style front plank, or our version of it anyway. We'll get you here. We want to think, squeeze the knees together hard, and imagine you've got a pea. Crack a walnut with your butt cheeks, prison clinch, and pull your elbows towards your toes. Pull your toes towards your elbows. So it's like you're bringing the ground together. You're crunching down into it. And you're trying to maintain ribs down, belt buckle pulled into the belly button. And you're maintaining that tension. We usually just hold it for 4 hard exhales. You can obviously progress that out into a fallout. Same idea. And there are plenty of other ways to progress that. From the anti-lateral flexion end, you can just do a suitcase carry, holding one weight here and making sure to keep the chin, sternum, and zipper lined up. So you're not doing this or this as you walk. They're straight. Good? You can also just pop into a side plank. But the same rules apply. Crack the walnut, belt buckle into the belly button, ribs down, and push your hips all the way through. Maintain that. Good? Anti-rotation, we tend to grab a cable. So if you've got your cable machine here, we'll get you tall kneeling. And I'll show you from the side here. Tall kneel, a little bit of forward bend, ribs down. Grab your cable, start at the belly, press out and hold. So it's pulling you this way, and you're resisting it this way. Right? We call that a Pallof press or an anti-rotation press out. Good? And these are progressible through stance. So half kneeling, inline iso lunge, standing, one leg. Right? And there are lots of ways to progress those. There are also chops and lifts, which again is to prevent rotation rather than create it, right? So that's the main thing. And then my personal favorite, and we've rehabbed a lot of low backs with this one, is the dead bug. And there are lots of ways to do this, but the gist is the same, where a belt buckle is pulled into the belly button, ribs are pulled down. So I always tell my clients, keep your butt off the floor, right? Squeeze your knees in, keep your feet slightly apart, toes up. Good? Break something here so that you're tight there, and drive your low back into the floor. I want your butt up. You're going to maintain that and extend down as low as you can without this changing. So you shouldn't feel your butt touch the floor, right? So extend down. There's a candle here, blow it out. Come back, reset. You can progress this by holding on to something to provide a little more tension and stability. So we grab onto this. But the main idea is the same. We're preventing motion of the spine while creating motion of the hips, as you're designed to do. Because like running in sand, when your foot goes through the sand, there's an energy leak as there's give in the sand, okay? This is your sand. This is your earth from which all your joints move. So if you can make this rigid and solid, these will move better, and you'll have more power, more strength, and less pain, right? So always work to prevent motion about the lumbar spine. Thoracic spine's a different story, but prevent motion about the lumbar spine while creating motion about the other joints. Another example is hip flexion. If I bring my knee up, I should be able to get above 90 without having to bend or crunch, right? We should just be able to lift our knee and get there. Good? So working on these things will help your back and help your core. Good?